All right, what is going on, guys? You guys are back for another episode of Locker Room Talk with Chris and Michael. This is officially episode 10. We're here with my guy. How's it going, brother?
Good, Chris. How you doing, man?
Man, I'm excited, dude. We're already at the halfway mark, at least for last year,
Bro,
last season we did 20 episodes, so we're almost there.
we're halfway, man. I mean, it feels like we're flying, man. It feels like we're flying.
Feels
You
like
know,
fine. Making some improvements, with this video
improvements.
now. Got some audio stuff. Still a little technical difficulties going on, but for the most part, we're rolling, man.
It's a learning experience, man,
Definitely, man. It's a fun experience.
and we're having fun. Along the way for sure.
All right, man. Without further ado, let's jump straight into it. All right,
Let's do it. Let's do it.
let's do it, man. So yesterday was the CONCACAF Nations Cup final. We had the heated game versus the United States, and Mexico. It was a big thing. I had so many people talking about it, even at work. People that were surprised that we're talking about it. I was like,
Really.
okay. I was like, I didn't even know you watched soccer, but that's how big of an event it was. I mean, it was the inaugural Nations Cup for the CONCACAF. We had USA took the victory, unfortunately, man, and then in extra time. But let's go ahead and sum it up. I mean, you know what? We'll do this a little differently. So everyone is talking about the United States. The future is now, and this game was a an example of that. So go ahead and give me your take on what you think of that statement.
I mean, for them. When is the future is now? They told us the future was now back when it was Donovan, Dempsey, Michael Bradley, Tim Howard, Oguchi Onyewu. Like they told us the future was now back then.
Mm-hmm.
When is it going to be the future consistently?
Right.
And I was talking internally into some other buddies out there that Mexico has a level of perfection that they have to keep, and the thing is they're consistent about it. You know, but USA they have like pockets,
Yeah.
and they I was reflecting. I'm like, wow, when um when the United States had that solid team that I just mentioned with those players, it was like around 2006 to I don't know what's about 5 years ago, 2016 when they had Dempsey. They had those. But to me, those players were legit. Like though,
Mm-hmm.
I fear as a Mexican fan, I feared those guys. I'm like, damn, bro, these guys can beat us at any time. Like we haven't been able to beat them in USA for X amount of years. But then it's just like those guys kind of like hit their veteran status, and
Mm-hmm.
then they just fell off, bro. And they've been off for the past 5 years. Like look at they didn't even qualify for a World Cup. To
Yep.
me that's embarrassing.
Mm-hmm.
To me that's embarrassing. You want to call yourself a big a giant of CONCACAF? That's low key. That's embarrassing, bro. Like you can't be considered a giant and not make the World Cup. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
As Mexico, we're consistent. We're consistent every year. I mean, we don't get past that fifth game, or we don't make it to that fifth. We don't get past that fifth game, but at least we're in the mix. We're always in the mix. We're always trying to compete. We need that little extra umph, but we're always there.
Mm-hmm.
We're there in World Cups. We're there in Olympic Games. No, the United States have not qualified for the last three Olympics, bro.
Yep.
And for them, what's their priority? What do they care about? They say the future is now, but what does that even mean?
Right.
A lot of people tell me, "Oh, well, the future is now." But I'm like, "What future, bro? Like, are you guys gonna be consistent for the next 5 to 7 years, and then you're gonna fall off? You
Mm-hmm.
know, and then maybe another Christian Pulisic and Gio Reyna and Weston McKinney come along 10 years later. Like, are you guys gonna be just like we're good now for the next 7 years, and then you fall off? You know, I don't know what that really means.
Yeah, it's not a
You know,
consistent basis for them.
it's not.
It's frustrating too because you see these guys like, oh, like, well, they're young, they never should have lost. Mexico never should have lost to this team, but it's like, yeah, they're young, but look at the levels they're already at. I mean, I did a little bit of deep diving, and for both squads yesterday,
Hmm.
including subs, they each played 17 guys. For the United States, uh, two of them are not playing in Europe. Two of them, and that
Wow.
was legit Sebastian Legit from the Galaxy.
Right.
And who was the other guy? It was let me see if I can pull it up. It
Was it
was
Kellen Acosta?
yes, Kellen Acosta. Yep, because he plays for the Rapids, right?
Right.
Yeah. And then for Mexico, dude, the same thing, 17. And we had nine guys that are not playing in Europe right now. Nine. And then look at that. I mean, you could honestly say that was Mexico's game that they lost.
It was. It was. I mean, just how you I'll piggyback on what you just said. We had 9 players who don't play in Europe, and they play locally or domestically here in the region, and they only had 2 guys from their local league. From their local league, only 2 guys.
Yep.
Right. So that means they don't even trust their guys here.
Right.
They don't trust their guys. They'll rather pick a guy who was a reject from a different national team, and like, my grandpa's American. I guess I can play over here, and they go over there. Nothing bad, but I mean, I think a player who to me is just a smokescreen, bro, and that's Serginho Dest. Serginho Dest is a smokescreen. Like this guy's not good. He doesn't start consistently for Barcelona, and look, you could just see in the game against Mexico, he was getting dominated.
Yep.
He's getting dominated on that right hand side by Antuna, and Dest was subbed out.
Yep.
So it's just the fact that they don't trust their own guys here, and they try to sell us this, the future is now. But if you look at the way Mexico, handpicks their guys, like they have a process for them. Like, we don't, of course we want the players to play in Europe and we want to play on big teams like the US players do, but we want them to play when they're there.
Right.
You look at Edson Alvarez, he's a starter and was champion with Ajax. We have Diego Lainez, who's starting to be part of the starting 11 for Real Betis at age 18.
Yeah.
We have Tecatito Corona, who's a nonstop starter for Porto and champion, and then you have Chucky Lozano, who's the undisputed starting 11 for Napoli. So and then you start looking at the older guys. You start looking at Hector Moreno, who just got back from playing in Qatar. Now he plays in Monterrey, but I think he's on his way out.
Right.
We have Ochoa, who plays consistently with America. He's playing every weekend, so he's got the experience. Look at the difference between Ochoa and Zach Steffen.
Yeah.
You're gonna tell me, oh well, Zach Steffen plays for City. Yep, he's a backup, bro.
Yeah.
He's a backup.
He doesn't see the field in City.
He's a backup and only plays like 3 games a year. Like you can't tell me that. And look that's what happens. He's finally out in a real game and he gets hurt by himself because he hasn't had activity.
Yep.
And then you have players like HH, who are is a regular sub at Atletico Madrid, and Guardado, who's a regular sub in Betis. I feel like those guys are on their way out.
Yeah, definitely.
That's why when I watched the game yesterday, and I don't know how you felt. I mean, I was kind of disappointed because you never want to lose to the United States as a Mexico fan. You never want to lose to them. But I took it as like, well, there's a bunch of young guys, who I think the prominent age for the U.S. yesterday was like 24 years old. I think their oldest player was like 24, or 25 was DeAndre Yedlin, I think, and Brooks were like the oldest guys. Mexico has easily at least 4 or 5 35-year-olds on the team.
Right.
So when I see that, I'm like, well, these guys, the U.S. team outran us, and they bodied us. That's when I saw. Because if you really look at it, USA had 0 chances from open play.
Nope.
Maybe had like 1 or 2 shots. Their goals came off two corner kicks and a PK.
Yeah.
That is questionable. But Mexico scored both their goals from open play. So it's something to think about. I mean, I feel like the individual skill for the U.S. players is there, but the collectively is not there yet.
Yeah, definitely.
You know what I'm saying? I don't know what you think.
And to go back real quick on your take too, some people may say, well, it's not that they don't trust the guys from their own domestic leagues. It's just they're advanced and they're on these top clubs across Europe. And still, like you said, look, you had 35-year-olds out there. Yeah, I mean, experienced. And these young guys who are playing in Mexico, and you have versus all these guys who are supposed to be big names, going to be future household names and playing in across Europe, and they still do. They had to be gifted a PK.
They had to be gifted a PK.
Like I don't know. I just feel like how is it the future looks great when they're saying, oh, Mexico is such a disappointment. They lost to this team. So which one is it? Is the future great, or is it disappointing that Mexico lost to this team that's not very talented and they're young? So which one is it? You know what I mean?
They don't want to choose one, man. They don't want to choose one. And you look at too the way Mexican soccer develops their players. Look, we haven't missed we haven't missed an Olympic Games since 2008. So we've been there consistently. Our young players. like we were talking on social media with Melvin. There's two really good center backs that are going to play in the Olympics who are technically going to take over the center backs that we saw yesterday from Mexico,
Right.
and that's Johan Vasquez, who plays for Pumas,
Mm-hmm.
and Cesar Montes, who plays for Monterrey, who was on the bench yesterday. For Mexico yesterday. But what I read is that Tata's bringing these young guys in just to feel the experience of being with the first team.
Yeah, the hostility in a game like that.
Exactly. He brought them on just for the experience, just so you guys can feel for it. And then they're going to go off and play with the Olympic squad. So it's the way like Mexico has a process for these guys, and we're always competing in the major tournaments. And the U.S. is like, okay, well, the future is now. And then they're absent for 5 years.
Yes.
And then it's like, oh, the future is now again.
Mm-hmm.
So which one was it? Was the future when you had Landon Donovan, the poster child for U.S. soccer? Or is it now when it's Pulisic, the poster child for U.S. soccer? Which one is it? You guys had him with Donovan, and then you guys fell off for 5 years, and then you guys are back, but you're saying the future is now. So when was the future?
Now they're calling Pulisic the real Captain America and stuff like that. I'm like, so you're just gonna disregard Donovan and all that he did for your country?
The disrespect for Donovan, bro. The disrespect.
Even for Dempsey, you know?
I honestly, bro, I feared those guys. As a Mexican fan, I'm like, damn, we gotta go play in Columbus, World Cup qualifier.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they're straight dogs, dude. Especially Michael Bradley, he was a dog. And I look at
Yeah, Michael Bradley was good.
and I look at the squad today. I'm like, they lack experience, bro. Like they lack experience, and I feel like I'm even helping out U.S. soccer here. I'm like, dude, you guys need, with all those young players, just put Michael Bradley in there in the middle. You got Weston McKennie to support you and Tyler Adams to support you in the middle, and you have that knowledge of Michael Bradley in the middle.
Yeah.
Solid, man. But you know, to me, when I saw the U.S. soccer yesterday, I saw like a chicken with its head cut off.
Yeah.
Like they're just running, balonazo, running all over. Yeah, they're fast, but they didn't create anything. I wasn't scared. I was more disappointed in the Mexico defense.
Yes.
In those set pieces as compared to like, damn, bro, Pulisic is dope, Sargent is dope. Like those guys are giving it to us. They didn't give it to us at all, bro.
The only one that was kind of creating a little bit of space was Gio Reyna on the wing,
Mm-hmm.
but even there he was putting in crosses across the box and nobody was there. So I'm sorry, but I think Pulisic is overrated as hell, man. I mean,
He's overrated.
I know he's a Champions League winner as of the past few weeks, but I don't see what he does when it comes to the United States. Yeah, okay, he can score 2-3 goals against Jamaica's C team, but
That's what I'm saying, bro.
like, I mean, realistically, anything else like yesterday, yeah, he scored that PK, and you can technically make the argument, oh, he stepped up when it mattered most, but
Nah, that's BS, bro. Because like you're right, he stepped up when they dialed up his number, but that PK should have never been called.
exactly, that's
And
not
if-
even a foul outside of the box.
And if the PK was never called, he was absent for 115 minutes. He didn't do anything. He didn't do anything for 115 minutes.
Right.
He was quiet. So now after watching that game, I'm like, all right, I saw a relevant tweet and I'm like, you know what? Fuck, let them enjoy it. I saw like, you know what? Let them enjoy it. They won. They haven't done anything for 5 years. They missed the World Cup. They haven't qualified for the Olympics. Let them have this win. And I'm like, yeah, you're right. Because honestly, I went to sleep so salty, bro. I couldn't even sleep. I didn't go to sleep by 4 a.m.
Yeah. Yeah, no, it was a frustrating loss, dude. Just all you saw was all these pictures of US, and it's the first Nations Cup, and they had to win it, and blah blah. I'm like, you know what, bro? No.
And it's like, okay, I get it. Now I'm looking at in the future, World Cup qualifiers. These guys are gonna get hit with a dose of reality when they're playing in hostile ass Costa Rica, hostile ass Honduras, El Salvador, Mexico City.
Yep.
Like where like the Americans here, they get complained about being throwing beer cans and piss, bro. They're gonna throw chairs at you over there.
Bro, they thought yesterday was bad.
They thought yesterday was bad.
Mm-hmm.
And we're not even mentioning Jamaica if they get 9 players that play in the Premier League cleared, bro. Jamaica might be a contender also.
Mm-hmm.
They might have Michael Antonio on there, Christian Holgate from Everton. They're gonna have a legit
Yeah, solid squad.
If these players get cleared to play for Jamaica. So I don't think it's gonna be a walk in the park for the U.S., man. Especially if they couldn't beat I want to say a semi hobbled Mexico team with H in the middle and Hector Moreno And plus, let's not forget we didn't have a number 9. We didn't start with a center. We don't have a center forward right now.
And not to mention too, you're talking about these nine players for Jamaica that play in the Premier League. If they're facing that, who's going to stop them? You really trust Mark McKenzie and Tim Ream in your defensive line, bro?
Look at Mark McKenzie. He gave away the goal yesterday at Tecatito.
Yeah,
and he was messing up all game.
And people were saying, I saw like all over Twitter, they're like, "Oh yeah, Mexico had to be gifted a goal in the opening minute." I'm like, no, they weren't gifted. That boy just cannot pass the ball. He was doing that shit all game, just like you said. He got the ball and he panicked, but he was just trying to boot it up. And that dude was sorry.
He was doing it all game, and I'm telling you, bro, the only person that bailed him out yesterday was Jonathan Brooks.
Mm-hmm.
He's the only one that was solid in the defense. That was like, all right, dude. His long legs was able to stop. He's the only one who bailed him out. And honestly, like, I don't know if they're gonna be able to do that. In 100+ degree weather in Honduras and El Salvador, hostile ass Costa Rica. It's not gonna be like what they. It's not gonna be like they played the Jamaica C team. It's not gonna be how they played. Who else did they played? Some other weak teams. Like a weak Panama team, bro. A good Panama team in Panama. Good luck.
Yep.
It's not gonna be the same. They're gonna get hit with a dose of reality. Come World Cup qualifier time, bro. To be honest.
Yeah, because I got even their bench too. Like I was telling you, legit is on there. That dude's terrible. Who else do they got? I know Tim Weah.
Tim Weah. Oh, Tim Weah. I think Tim Weah. I think is a French reject. I think. He decided to play for the US because he didn't have the skill to play for the French team.
Mm-hmm.
So he decided to play for the United States. But overall, man, I mean, we definitely got to have a U.S. soccer fan out here in the near future. So we can hear from them. Like, what are they so excited about? What do you see in the future, and what was missing in the past 5 years? I want to hear from them. I want to hear from them because they're like, oh, the gap is close. And if it wasn't for CONCACAF, bro, they would have lost yesterday.
Yeah, and it's like, what is the difference of, like I was telling you yesterday, in your brother 2010 and 2014 when they had these these World Cup rosters fully loaded with players that are playing in Europe, like
fully loaded.
What do they do? Nothing. Fully
loaded, man. That's what I was thinking too. I'm like, oh yeah, we got all these players right now in Europe. I'm like, bro, you had a bunch of players in Europe in 2010, 2014.
Mm-hmm.
What's the difference between now and then?
But all that matters is they sub on a Wondolowski that misses an open net. So that's U.S. soccer for you, bro. It's a joke.
It's like I don't see it. I'm trying to figure out, like, they're talking about, like, and I bring it back to this, like, the future is now. We're here. I'm like, bro, you guys were absent for the last 5 years, man. Like, we beat you guys for the past 3, 4, 5 years. You guys haven't been relevant, and now all of a sudden you win a trophy in some made up cup. They just decide to pull out their butt out of nowhere just so they can win it. And I'm like, come on, man. It's like, this is not even a real thing.
Yeah.
But you want to go ahead and go for it, man. Take it.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like in terms of youth, bro, like you said, we have freaking Linus on the other side of Mexico. That dude's special. But he came in, was not even 5 minutes and just changed the game and scored a goal. I mean, Mexico obviously they melted with those set pieces and let them back in. But if they would have been, holding it down in the back on those set pieces, he could have won it for them.
They could have won it, and that's what I see. I'm like, honestly, the defenders that were in for Mexico yesterday were not it. They were not it. They were not it. They were sus. Chaka Rodriguez, bro. What is Chaka Rodriguez? He looks like a homie. You remember the homie toys?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. The homie, bro. Lazy.
Yeah.
You have Hector Moreno. He's in his late 30s. He's still there. You have Carlos Salcedo, who I don't want to say he's a veteran, but they consider him a veteran. He's almost 30, I think.
Mm-hmm.
So, like in there. And then you have Gallardo, I feel like he's kind of burnt out already.
Mm-hmm.
So those are the 4 defenders that we had yesterday against. Come on, you're against a youth squad who can leap up in the eye, and Weston McKennie and who else was up there that were jumping? Weak ass McKenzie and Brooks. Like, these guys were getting up there. So of course they were gonna dog us on the set pieces. But in open play, I don't see it in open play.
And not to mention, dude, like your brother was saying, Orbelin Pineda, that came off the bench, and just a recent champion, dude, and barely played. It's just the little things like that could have affected the game.
Mm-hmm.
Like you said, that if we would have been a little bit more youthful in center backs, could have been a completely different game. So
It could have been a way different game.
I mean, at the end of the day, yes, Guardado missed that PK, but it never should have been in that situation because that was not a foul in the box with Pulisic in that winning PK, and he's at home, silencing the haters of his own country.
He's silencing the. He's silencing the people in his own country,
He's
man.
in Denver, Colorado.
Come on, man. It's ridiculous. Yeah, I saw all the gloating, and it's salty. It's like salt on the wound for a Mexico fan, and I'm like, but then I'm like, I saw a tweet that says like, you know what? Let them enjoy, bro. They haven't had success in 5 years.
Yeah.
CONCACAF is trying to make them relevant again. Because if not, Mexico's gonna walk away with the CONCACAF again.
I think what's more frustrating for me on my end is like just seeing the type of people that are watching the games and the type of people that are tuning it in from the U.S. men's national team outside of the fans that root for them and actually know what they're talking about. But that's probably maybe 10%, and the other 90% is not a clue. They're MLS casual fans. I
Exactly.
saw a tweet when it was Mark McKenzie was kept messing up, and it was from I want to say it was a verified account that was the American Outlaws. And it said, please, let's stop trying to play out of the back. We are not Man City. And
Oh,
I'm like, dude, that's one of the smartest ways to play the game is play out of the
exactly.
back and build up from the back. But they just think, oh, nope, let's stop playing with the back. You get the ball as a defender, boot it up. That's all they
It's
think.
the US way, bro. Boot it, speed, and body.
Yep.
That's the US way.
And
No skill.
the
No
fact
skill.
that tweet had so many retweets and likes is concerning, man.
That's concerning, man.
From a fan standpoint, in terms of where the game is headed in this country, if they think that the future is now and the future is here, but you also don't want them to play a form of organized soccer from the back and build up. It's like, what else do you want them to do?
Exactly. And let's not forget, bro. A lot of people hopped on the bus when Pulisic came on the scene. So a lot of people, like we mentioned, like they don't know about the Donovans. They're like I mean, the disrespect to Landon Donovan.
Man,
That's how I see it.
Certified baller.
I'm not even a US soccer fan, bro. But I respected that guy. That fool did us dirty. Knocked us out of the World Cup in '02.
Yep.
Like he was just a straight dog. And if you look at when I look at U.S. men's national team, like the vets and OGs, I look at Alexi Lalas. I look at Landon Donovan, bro. Tim Howard, and I'll even throw in there a Michael Bradley because those guys. I think when I think of U.S. soccer, I'm like maybe Marcelo Balboa and stuff like that. But yeah, I always think of Alexi Lalas and Donovan. Those were U.S.
Yep.
And now you want to say Christian Pulisic is like
Don't forget the dynasty.
Dempsey, bro, Dempsey.
Yep.
So the dynasty.
The guys who performed at the biggest stage. Donovan was scoring, like you said, knocked us out of the World Cup. Guys doing the inevitable for the United States, and they're just boom. They forget about him instantly. And Pulisic is this new American savior, the Captain America as they call him. And
Nah, dude, ridiculous. And it's concerning. Before we move on to our different topic, it's just that slogan that they use. The future is now. I'm like, come on, bro. The future. So what was everything in the past? What was Clint Dempsey? What was Donovan? What was Kobe Jones? What was Michael Bradley? What was Tim Howard, bro? What did they represent for you guys? The future is now. Come on, man. You don't see Mexico saying the future is now.
Yeah.
Because we're consistent. We're always there.
No, things may get patchy and rough at times, but they're there. They're always in the mix.
We're always
may
in the
not
mix.
get the results that we want, but we're always in the mix, fighting. Making a fight for it in the hunt.
We're always competing. We're always competing.
Frustrating to say the least from I guess from the Mexican fan standpoint, and also just of where this direction of soccer is headed for the United States. So, like you said, man, I'm ready to see them on this big stage and against these, like good competition, and see where they go, see what Pulisic and see what Sargent and Gio Reyna, see what they can do. I mean, that's all. Time will tell, really. I mean,
Time will tell, man. When
like
it matters. When it matters.
If Pulisic is playing in Chelsea, dude, and he's Champions League winner, you got to perform on this stage.
We got to expect a little bit more than just shooting a PK at the 115th minute
And
because
ripping your shirt off.
yeah, I get it. I get it. You won the game for them.
Hmm.
Um,
I mean, yeah, I mean,
but
of course, anyone's going to be excited in
of
that
course,
moment.
of
So
course. But to not do anything in 115 minutes, it's a little concerning, man. A
yeah,
little concerning.
I mean, it's going to be could be another. I mean, completely different style of play, but like another Josie Altidore is just disappointing as hell. Time will tell, man.
Time will tell.
Until then, moving on real quick. I know we want to talk some hoops, but real quick, another update in the Aaron Rodgers saga. He said he will not be reporting to the mandatory, I want to say, training camp. And they said that they could fine him up to like $93,000 or something like that for not showing up.
That's a lot of money, bro.
I know the last time I checked, he was not at the OTAs and his receivers were not at the OTAs. So where do you see this going? I know a lot of people are like, okay, he's not going to play for them. I mean, obviously he's most likely done with the Packers.
Yeah.
But do you think he's just going to sit out? You think they're going to trade him? You think he's going to pull a Brett Favre and retire and then unretire? Where do you see this going?
I think the most logical thing for Rodgers to do is retire than unretire. That's what I feel like. I think he might do the Brett Favre route. But if I'm looking at it from a Packers perspective, if I've unleashed all my resources and it's like, bro, he's not even budging, like he's not even caring about it. Like I'm giving you like the keys to Lambeau, bro. Like this is yours, and he's like, I don't want it, bro. I don't want to be here.
Yeah.
Then at that point, bro, you got to take your L's and find the best fit not even for him, for you, for the organization. Like, all right, bro, look, I'm willing to send him over to, the fucking Texans, bro. But I want this is what you're offering me. Give me all these first rounders. I think the Packers need to start looking into those alternatives before they look out and they don't get anything.
Right.
Because I feel like Rodgers, I don't think money is not a thing for him.
He's obviously willing to, forfeit 93,000.
So it's gonna get. I think it might get even nastier. I think it's already nasty, but the media doesn't make it sound like that. But it's bad. To me, it's bad. And I think it's a little ridiculous for his no-name receivers besides Adams to not show up. Those others gotta show up, bro.
Yeah, Lillard.
Those guys aren't big ticket names like Adams is and Rodgers. So, but I goes to show the impact that Rodgers has on that organization and the players.
Yeah, I mean, the OTAs are voluntary workouts, but nonetheless, they should be showing up and putting in as much work as they could get, to try and become a household name.
That's what I think. So, I mean, I think it might get nasty. I think he might sit out maybe this season he might sit out. I don't know yet, man. But if you're asking me today what I think he's going to do is I think he's going to, it's all right. I'm not going to play. I'm just going to remove myself from the game for a little bit. Right. And then I'm going to come back, join a team, something like that. What do you think?
I think he's going to get moved. I mean, I think it's going to take a while, possibly like right up until before the season, but I think he's going to get moved. I mean, if you ask me where, I don't really have an answer. I mean, I think one of the most realistic spots for him to land is Denver. I'm seeing as they didn't draft a quarterback. I mean, they traded for Teddy, but a little bit of an easier division. I mean, as you got Mahomes and company in there, but then you also got the Raiders who are on the fence. You got the Chargers who are looking good, but they're young. Yeah. So I feel like he will get moved. I mean, he's definitely going to sit out up until he gets moved. I don't think he any chance of coming back. It says he's done with the organization. So I feel like his time in Green Bay is done. But I think he gets moved eventually. I feel like the Packers are going to try and draw it out as long as they can. And then when they're like, okay, man, this dude's serious, like he does not want to play first. I think they're going to be forced to move him to try and get something in return,
Yeah, I think you're right. I think once he starts paying those $93,000 like it's nothing, they're gonna be like, "Oh fuck, all right, he does not care at all." That's when they'll start figuring out.
Because that's what a lot of guys have said too. Like Ocho Cinco. I don't know if you. I mean, I know you follow him, but just in some of the interviews he's done, like when he says his antics and his celebrations and stuff, and they ask him like, "Why were you doing that? Like, why are you forfeiting all this money?" Instead of just following the rules and not celebrating, he's like, because it was never about money for me, man. It was about for the love of the game. Like I went to the NFL because I love to play football. You could take all my money. I don't need no money to play football. So I feel like Aaron Rodgers is definitely in that same boat too. I mean, with the passion that he has and, the MVP caliber talent that he has. I feel
That's right.
like it's nothing for him. I mean, especially at this point for being in the league for so long, he has all the money he needs, man.
He
Set.
does. He's good. And whose fault do you think this is? Do you think it's an Aaron Rodgers thing, or is it the organization?
I definitely think it's the organization, man, for getting him no help.
That's disrespectful, bro.
I mean,
That's so
for
disrespectful.
drafting no receivers or skill players, and for basically drafting. I mean, I don't think they're necessarily wrong for drafting Jordan Love last year, but at the same time, when you know you need help, especially in the times where like Devontae Adams has been known to go down for a few weeks, with like hamstrings and
Mm-hmm.
groins and stuff like that. Like last year, he missed some time with turf toe, so it's just like you never know what's going to happen. And when that guy's gone, I mean, Aaron Jones has been doing pretty good in the last few years,
Mm-hmm.
but say Aaron Jones goes down too, what are you going to do?
I
Like he's
mean,
a baby Tanyan makes another step, but
yeah,
other than that, I feel like you gotta put him in a position to succeed, especially as he's getting older.
that's true.
And all they've been doing is drafting defensive players, and look where it got him. Got eliminated against Tampa Bay.
I mean, the best example that we could use for superstar quarterbacks is Brady.
Mm-hmm.
That's the best example you can look at. I'm like, look, bro, he's old. Like he's an elite quarterback. He's getting older, but look what they're doing to make him better. Even though he's old, bro. Even though he's look what they're doing to get him better.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just like Aaron Rodgers is like, in my opinion, is like if Aaron Rodgers had what Tom Brady had, bro,
Yeah, and
and he's mobile.
I feel like you can make the argument, or people can make the argument, like, well, look what Tom has done in his career. He's made some, like not so big names
Right.
into big players, but I feel like the Packers don't even go and attempt that. They don't get these guys who are like look at Wes Welker,
Mm-hmm.
Amendola, what's his name?
Edelman.
Edelman, the other guy that played lacrosse, Chris Hogan.
Oh, Chris Hogan.
Like these are guys that are just like they're dogs. They're just going to go out there. They're going to give it all they got, and they're going to try to succeed. I feel like,
They're hustlers.
the Packers don't have really anything near that, you know.
What a shame.
So
What a shame.
I feel like he gets moved. You say that he may retire. If
Mhm.
not, it will sit out. I mean, it's definitely like we said, the saga is just getting started, man. We're very young in the off season. I know one move that you said that you would do if you were in that front office was to go get Julio
Yeah.
to convince him to stay. Obviously, now we see Julio is becoming a Tennessee Titan. So, real briefly on that, what are your thoughts on that? Do you think that puts them in a better position? Do you think they're going to kind of stay stagnant, or where do you think they're headed?
Um. Well, to be honest, I didn't see this coming at all.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I didn't see him going to Tennessee. I thought the potential landing spots were, I think the front runner was the Patriots. I thought he was gonna go to the Patriots. I'm like, well, he's gonna go to the
Mm-hmm.
Patriots, right? But I mean, he goes to in my opinion, a very weak division aside from the Colts.
Right.
I feel like the Titans have that division locked maybe for the next couple of years, and now they add Julio Jones. Maybe you can extend that even more.
Mm-hmm.
I just like he wanted a quarterback who could sling the ball. I don't think Tannehill can sling the ball like that. Um, but I mean, it doesn't do any of us anything aside from, well, he's going to the Titans, to AFC South.
Right. Like
You
if you're
know?
a Titans fan, okay, hell yeah.
Yeah.
But
Does that move make them contenders or somewhat of a maybe? Because I think the next step would be Super Bowl.
mm-hmm.
Because I'm pretty sure they made it to an AFC Championship game, right? Yeah, 2 years ago, right? When 2 or 3 years ago when they lost to Tom Brady.
No,
They
no,
were
no,
they
no, no.
no
Was it
was it more
championship? I
or
don't think
was
it was.
it no?
They
Yeah,
they they, they upset.
they beat Pats.
They upset. Yeah, well, this was last year. They beat the Pats,
Was it last
right?
year?
Or was it 2 years ago?
I think it was 2 years ago.
2 years ago because it was Brady's last year.
Uh
Yes,
huh. Yeah.
and then they beat the Ravens. Remember?
Uh huh. And they lost to the Chiefs.
Yes. No,
No.
no, no. That was Texans and Chiefs. Remember?
So they lost to the Texans,
Yes.
and the Texans beat and the Chiefs beat the Texans to go to Super
Yes.
Bowl.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Okay. Well, I think with Julio Jones, I mean, didn't they lose Corey Davis and they lost the guy that went to the Patriots? Was his name Jonnu Smith?
Yes. Johnny Smith, tight end.
So he went Pats, right?
Mm-hmm.
Well, I guess it's a good void for what they lost in Corey Davis and Jonnu Smith. Julio Jones is a great addition. Now the question is, will he stay healthy? is the
that's
question.
that's a big thing right there. Is I feel like definitely they're going to be in contention because they have been in the last few years, and it's only
Mm-hmm.
like adding a Pro Bowler, perennial
Right.
type of guy in Julio. But one, can he stay healthy? And two, like you said, I just don't see Tannehill taking them over the top.
Me
Yes, in
neither.
that division, maybe winning it, maybe coming in second for with the Colts. But other than that, dude, it's Tannehill. At the end of the day, it's Tannehill. Like,
It's
yes, he's made
Tannehill.
some good plays, but I mean, you want to go out there and play with Ryan Tannehill. Honestly, I'm going to put it out there right now. I mean, I already put it on Twitter. I do not think they're going to represent the AFC in the Super Bowl.
No, of course not.
I'm putting my money on Mahomes over
Over
Tannehill.
the Titans,
Yeah, with. I mean, I think they're still going to be a very run heavy team
of course.
with Derrick Henry. I mean, you paid that man, so we've seen what they can do with giving Derrick Henry 2,000 plus rushing yards a season.
It's it's cool. I'm like, cool. We got Julio, but just let you know, we're still gonna run the ball. You're just
Yeah.
another option that we can use.
Like another red zone option. And then
Exactly.
it's like they have AJ Brown too, who has also had some injury issues. So concerning, very concerning. I think
Yeah.
I'm just gonna put it on the record. I don't see the Titans making it to the Super Bowl.
Ooh.
Hot take, but I
Don't
don't
we?
see
Don't we? Don't we play the Titans this year? The Niners?
it. Do we?
Or no, we don't. I don't
I
think
don't
so.
I don't think so.
I don't think
Um
so. I don't think we do. I don't think we do.
we we do.
We do, right?
Just
Is it a Thursday night?
Yeah, Thursday night, December 23rd in Tennessee. That would be an interesting one because they got Shanahan supposedly they said he was going to come to there and blah blah blah. So I think that'll be an interesting one right there to see like did he
That'll
make
be
the mistake? Did he go to the correct location?
that'll be fun to watch, man.
So yeah, that'll be a good one. Yeah, man. So I like I said, I don't see them making it very deep in the playoffs, let alone the Super Bowl.
Right.
But transitioning, man, time for some hoops talk. Before we dive into this playoffs, I know one thing that we were talking about was Damian Lillard, whether he should go or should stay. And credit to you, man. You were talking about the Knicks, and the very next day, Complex Sports talking about superstars
Told you, bro.
that Lillard needs to add, or that the Knicks need to add, and Lillard was at the top of the list. So I mean, that's just a testament to how dedicated, how much we know, and like we said, we're ahead of the game all the time. But interesting to say though that I guess a lot of teams are monitoring the situation with Lillard, so
I'm not
it's
shocked.
interesting.
I'm
Go
not
ahead.
shocked, bro. I'm not shocked that a lot of teams are following Dame Lillard. Like I said, I still think, and you might want him in the Lakers. I know you would love him in the
Oh,
Lakers.
of course.
But I feel like, bro, if he lands in the Knicks, just think about that rivalry. And we don't even live in the East Coast, bro. We're West Coast guys, right?
Mm-hmm.
But seeing like Dame Lillard Knicks against Kyrie Brooklyn, like I would just want to see that matchup. But I would also like to see. No, I don't want to see him to the Lakers because that'll be too powerful. That'll be too powerful. But I mean, I think Dame has a lot of options that he can choose to. I mean, I don't know how contract wise and money wise. I don't know.
He makes a lot of money, dude.
I've mentioned this before. I'm not an expert on the contracts and whatnot, but if I could, man, I would send him to. I would if I were him. Like I'm choosing the Big Apple. Pay me. I will come be your superstar. Be a better, improved, better option than Melo was when he showed up.
Yeah, that dude. Lillard, I mean, I wouldn't be mad. Of course, Lakers would be top pick, but I would not be mad to see that Dame in the New York Knicks orange and blue.
And how do you feel about the Portland organization
I
now?
think honestly,
What do you feel?
they got rid of Stotts. I kind of touched a little bit about how CJ doesn't show up in big games. Melo, kind of riding the wave on his way out. I think it's time to just. I know it may not be the smartest thing to do for Portland or as a hearing a Portland fan, but I feel like the best option is see what compensation you can get for Dame. Maybe
Yeah.
moving CJ McCollum. I think some teams will come calling for him too, and just see what you can get. And I think it's time to go into a true rebuild mode. I mean,
I-
Terry Stotts, bro, 8 years running, never missed the playoffs. So, look, I mean that 8 years and you couldn't get it done. You know what I mean? But they had some good teams too.
They had no. That's what I'm saying, bro. They've had good teams. Like they always make the playoffs,
Mm-hmm.
but they can't get past that first round.
Yep.
And I think it's true too. I mean, I think it's like they gotta do full rebuild because there's no way that Lillard drops 50 points, 60 points a game, bro, in playoff games, and he's got no help, and they lose that game.
And it's double overtime, and he's scoring 55, 60 points a game.
I don't see if I'm him. I'm like, bro, I've given you everything I can, but these other guys, they just like not to throw shade. I don't. I'm pretty sure he doesn't throw shade at them.
No, definitely not.
But he's probably like, come on, guys, like I can't be the only one doing this shit.
Right.
You know.
Mm-hmm.
So he's got to go somewhere where. I think it's time that he goes somewhere where it's big lights, big city.
He's definitely ready for it.
He's ready for it. But I don't know, man. I don't know how he would feel living, maybe leaving cross country. I feel like he's a West Coast guy.
Definitely Oakland.
And I don't think he wants to. I don't think he would want to go to like the East Coast. So,
Yeah, probably not.
So I think his options are limited. Either maybe stay in Portland, go to the Lakers. I don't know how it would look in a Warrior situation if they bring him to the Warriors and they move Klay Thompson to like a small forward situation.
I don't think he would do that.
No, you see,
and honestly, I don't think he would go to the Lakers either. I really don't.
No.
Mm-mm.
Like no, it's not happening.
I mean, I wish, but I just don't. He's too prideful.
Yeah, so
it's not like there's different type of people like where KD straight up fuck it. Like I'm going. I'm going to win a championship. Is what I'm looking for. I'm going and I'm going to get it.
Fuck, and so, he got it. Yeah,
that's what I'm saying. I mean, frustrating from a basketball fan standpoint, but at the same time, like if you're in his shoes, you can't say you're not going to do the same.
No, definitely not.
So I don't think Dame would join the Lakers or the Warriors, but man, I think that Knicks would be a good fit. I mean, they would possibly need like maybe two more pieces.
I think so too.
But
I think so too.
Because that could be special.
It would be like, hey, you add Dame Lillard and you add not so. I mean, you could even add like maybe if it was possible. Like I said, I don't know contract situations. You add a Dame Lillard and you add a Giannis on that Knicks team with Julius Randle and maybe a D Rose coming off the bench
or Kawhi
or a Kawhi. I feel like they could be a serious contender. No, Kawhi. I think Kawhi's going to the Warriors, bro.
Yeah, it's probably set in stone. I mean, I don't know. I mean, they're still in it, so.
But if they're champs, I don't know. Like I know you want. I know you don't want us to the Clips be champion.
I don't think anybody does. I don't think anybody does, bro.
But if they do win, I think he might stay. But I feel like, moving pieces and I'm pretty well. I'll get this to when we get to the Sixers, but I think another option for Golden State. I know this is totally random, but I think another option would be Joel Embiid joining the Warriors.
I mean, it's been in recent talks, the recent years with the trade deadlines and stuff like that.
So I mean, I know we're not even done with the playoffs right now, but I mean, off-season moves, bro, trades and potential landing spots. Mm-hmm. I mean, it's a never-ending story, a never-ending talking point, and I think Dame Lillard's going to be that first domino to drop.
Yeah, it could be the off-season.
I think so.
I can see him moving. I mean, I know he's been in the headlines of I'm not going nowhere. This is where I started. This is where I want to finish. But I don't know, man. It seems like he's getting fed up.
I mean,
and I cannot blame him.
Look, he can have all the individual accolades and be an all-star, but come on, man, you play to win the championship.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I'm not gonna play a game just to like, all right, I just want the MVP. Or,
I mean,
or
Yeah, because to be honest, it's like I understand, his mentality of like I started here, this is where I want to finish. Kobe, Dirk. I mean, I know D Wade eventually left all that time in Miami.
Yeah.
But I feel like if I was in that situation, at the end of the day, if I stuck it out and I retired and didn't go home with the ring, I'd be like, damn, dude, what if I would have went over there? It's not like old times anymore where, nobody's jumping ship. It's everyone's going here. It's for them. It's for they're requesting trades or forcing trades.
Yeah.
I just feel like we're in a new age, in a new era. So Dame, if you want a championship, dude, I think you're gonna have to leave without a doubt.
And it's true, bro, because look, Dame is a great player, bro, and he wants to be loyal to his soil and be there in Portland. But look, bro, nobody talks about Karl Malone. Nobody talks about John Stockton. Nobody talks about Charles Barkley. Nobody talks about these guys who didn't win rings, bro. They're there, but we know who they are. But no one's putting them in a category where like, oh, dude, like you're here, but there's guys who are like up here, and with your talent, you could be up here with these guys,
Yep.
you
Should have
know.
been.
But should have been,
But
but
instead you got Chuck getting roasted online when I mean on live TV when Shaq's like, hey Chuck, don't forget you don't got a ring. I got a ring.
you
That
know.
is hella funny.
So it's just I don't know, and that we'll leave that for future shows when that situation. But I can see that happening, especially with all the animosity and in today's day and age with social media. His post, do we have to read between the lines?
Yeah.
You know,
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I'm pretty sure we're gonna follow this closely.
Yeah, it's gonna be a good story. I know it's gonna be a big topic of the offseason. Jumping ship real quick to some more hoops. We got some playoffs, man. So we got some playoff action still going on. Some new series we haven't talked about. Hasn't not kicked off yet, but we had the Clippers take down the Mavs in Game 7 yesterday. And they're facing the number 1 seed, man, in Utah Jazz. So where do you see that series going?
I can see it going 7 games, just like this last one.
Mm-hmm.
I think Utah's good. Donovan Mitchell makes them better. But I think Kawhi has finally turned that chip on, and is like, all right, guys, let's do this. He's in robot mode, and he's gonna. I'm telling you this, they'll steal one in Utah.
Oh, definitely.
They're gonna steal one in Utah, either whether it's tomorrow or Thursday, whenever they play again. They're gonna steal one there. I'm surprised they didn't. I guess it's the championship pedigree of Kawhi that got him through that Game 7.
Yeah.
As
I
good
mean,
as
Luka doesn't have help either, though. So.
exactly as good as Luka is, I can see a Dame Lillard situation happening to Luka in Dallas. You know.
Yeah.
I thought Porzingis was going to be a good addition to that team.
Yeah.
Non-existent. Tim Hardaway Jr. Also decent, but not that quite of a sidekick.
Not there yet.
For Luka, yeah. And Kawhi he bodied that, in his supporting cast with Pandemic P, or was it Playoff P?
Playoff P, bro.
What did I say?
Pandemic P. That's what he was last year, bro. Playoff P.
Playoff P. I think there's a Reggie Jackson. Is it Reggie Jackson?
Yes, sir.
Bro, Morris Sr.
Mm-hmm.
Bro, those guys are. See, that's the type of supporting cast you want on a team. That's the type of supporting cast that you want on Lillard's team.
Mm-hmm.
Something like that. And kudos to the Clippers. They closed out that Game 7. They didn't want to be a new stat in not winning a home game or any home game, whatever. I think that Utah series is going to be super good, just like the one that just finished today, the Phoenix Denver series. I think the two Western Conference. The two Western second round series are going to be super good, to be honest. What do you think?
Who do you got out of the Clippers series?
I feel like it's too early for me to say. I'm gonna go with the Clippers just because, bro, Utah is boring, bro.
Yes.
Their court is boring. Their fans are,
Uni's boring. Style of play is boring.
Boring style of play. I'm like, yeah, they can shoot threes, but I feel like the Clippers can also shoot threes. And I guess I just gotta support anybody that's still left in the West Coast. I know you would. I mean, I don't know how you feel about the Clippers, but I'm gonna take the Clippers here, and they're gonna upset the Utah Jazz.
No, yeah, definitely. I think it's looking like Clippers. I just feel like the depth is going to take them through to the next round. Unfortunately, I'm hoping for Clipper Daryl to be crying on Twitter, Marcellus Wiley to be crying, bro. Yeah, I mean, I just think it comes down to depth, and all those names you just read off. He's over Utah, which is, I mean, they got, like you said, Gobert, who can impact the game. They got Mitchell. They got what's his name, Conley. But other than that, that's basically it. You can slow down Ingles. You can slow down Bogdanovich. You can slow down Jordan Clarkson.
Yeah.
So I just think it's going to be Clips. Yeah, I mean, I would like to see. I mean, I won't count Utah out because they're there for a reason, number 1 seed for a reason. But leaning towards the Clips. Next series though, Suns beat my Lakers. Unfortunately, they were just hungry. Devin Book is a walking bucket. Now they're up against the Nuggets, who have been running steady. But we talk about Jokic being the MVP and delivering for his squad while Murray is out. They just took an L today, bro. A big L, 122 to 105. So, some brief thoughts and where you see this series headed.
I see. I can see this going not to 7 but to 6. Ooh, you know what? I might take it back, bro. I think this might go to 7 too, because I can't look. I've been following closely Joker in this past series with the Blazers,
Right.
bro. I mean, it's hard to root against Joker because he looks like a faster, better passer, better shooter, Shaquille O'Neal. I'm sorry, bro. That's how I see it. I'm like, this guy's just smart.
Yeah, more skilled. Yeah.
And he has the body like Shaq. I mean, Shaq's body was more massive, but I can see like a big body guy, just like like a Magic Johnson passes.
Yep.
But yeah, like you said today, they took a big L today. I had the game on, but the Suns look good, bro. But I don't know how the Suns are gonna fare in the altitude in Denver, where Jokic takes over. And Jokic supporting cast is also pretty good. They kind of fell off today. Michael Porter Jr., Aaron Gordon, Campazzo. I don't want to root Morris and Marcus Morris.
Monte Morris.
Monte Morris. I said Marcus Morris. Monte Morris. They're good, but it's just like you said, the walking bucket in Devin Booker, the experience of Chris Paul. Crowder, who just somehow manages to end up in good teams, bro.
Yeah.
Crowder, DeAndre Ayton. I think a key guy who was able to slow down LeBron in Miles Bridges. Is this Miles Bridges? No, not Miles. Mikal Bridges. Bridges, bro. He's good. He can shoot the 3-ball.
Campaign has been hot.
They got another guy with a fro on their team. What's his name, man? Let me see here. And he can hit the buckets, bro. Let me see. I got you right here. Hold on. What's his name? Aaron Payne. They got your boy Frank Kaminsky.
Oh, is it Johnson?
Is it Johnson?
Yeah, Cam Johnson.
Cam Johnson. There we go.
Yep.
He can shoot the 3-ball and play defense. Man, it's just hard to root against the Suns. I'm gonna take the Suns in this series, even though I like Joker though. I like Joker and how he plays, but I just think the Suns are a little too much for them.
I think an inexperience too of Denver, just like last year, especially with no Jamal Murray, it's gonna be tough. I feel like Jamal Murray was here, it would be a little bit different, maybe a little bit more even. But once again, bro, depth and hunger of the Phoenix Suns. They have not been in the playoffs for a long time, and they're here. They're excited to be back, and they're showing out, man. They took out the Lakers, defending champs, which is also another for another episode.
Yeah.
But I got the Suns in this one.
Yeah.
Jumping over to the Eastern Conference real briefly, we got the Sixers and Hawks. But I know you said you wanted to touch base on that, so go ahead and jump it off.
I mean, what a game! I mean, I don't know if you caught the game, but bro, what a game! Like, I feel like the inexperience was starting to creep up on the Hawks. But they managed to close it out. Man, you know what, man? I think I'm gonna go with the upset in this series, and I'm thinking the Hawks might upset the Sixers here.
You think so?
I think it's also it's. I feel like they're the Suns of the East right now.
Yes.
They're young, they're hungry, they're fast, they play good defense, they got good size. They have a guy in there who can defend, not so much stop Embiid, but can slow him down in Clint Capella. But I like the Hawks, man. Trae Young's turning into that villain, man. He's turning into our modern day Reggie Miller. That's what I call it. Yep. I'm calling it modern day Reggie Miller, who can hit the ball, who can score the ball. He can pass the ball, and he can silence the crowd whenever he wants to. At this point,
so got that Steph Curry range.
Yeah, and look, if Ben Simmons can't hit free throws, well, these guys can't win. They can't win. They can't win if he can't hit free throws. Like the teams know that. All right, we're gonna go out there, we're gonna hack a Simmons, and he's gonna be in trouble. But I like the Hawks here.
No, yeah, I mean, I think for me, I'm leaning towards the Hawks. I'm rooting for the Hawks, but I feel like it all depends in this game too. If Philly can find a way to get back into it, and they're at the home court advantage right now, of winning a game too, which is a big statement game.
It's
I think
huge.
because honestly, I feel like if they win this game, obviously it's tied, so it can go either way, and I'm
Right.
maybe leaning towards a little bit more experience for Philly.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm telling you right now, bro, if the Hawks go up 0-2, Philly, no coming back for Philly. Done. This you cannot come back from 0-2 on the Hawks team, bro. Like you said, they're hungry. They got the villain in Trae Young. I just feel like they're also another, like you said, Phoenix Suns of the East, where they're
That's
just
it.
there. They're there to make a statement. They're there to say, hey, we're here. Got a lot. You got what's his name? Lemon Pepper Lou out there.
Lemon Pepper Lou, the vet, the
Yeah, being a
vet. They got a
veteran.
vet.
Yeah, so I think if for me it's too early to call. I can't put a prediction on this series yet,
That's true.
but I'm hoping it's the Hawks. And like I said, if the Hawks go up 2-0 tomorrow, goodbye Philly. That's all I got to say right there. That's going to be an interesting one though. So
Yeah,
I'm definitely going to
definitely.
be tuning in for that game too. And then now we have another one that's already kicked off with two games. We got Brooklyn up 2-0 on Milwaukee. I almost said Miami. What do you think? I mean, we saw this one going 6 or 7, but now it's looking like it's going to be 4-0 sweep for Brooklyn.
I I'm gonna be nice enough to say gentleman's sweep, and I'm being generous, bro. And
Mm-hmm.
I feel like the Nets might be like, let's give them a game like we gave the Celtics. Let's just give them one,
Yeah.
you know. But these guys, man, I watched most of the game today,
Mm-hmm.
and man, you just like it's like whenever KD pulls up, bro, it looks like it's going in, and they go in. Kyrie pulls up, and this is without James Harden.
Yes.
This
It
is
said
without James
45
Harden,
seconds, bro.
bro.
45 seconds. For James Harden. That's it.
And I was like, damn, bro, these guys are. It looks like Kyrie's more hungry than ever
Mm-hmm.
playing for the Nets than he was with Cleveland and Boston.
Yeah.
And he looks just more hungry now. And so does KD. I think KD wants to prove like, hey, I can do this
Yep.
over here too, you know. And
I
and
didn't need
it's
Stephen Clay.
I didn't need Stephen Clay. But that's contradictory because he's like, oh, I don't need Stephen Clay, but I can use Kyrie and Harden. Nah.
No. I'm not saying he didn't need it. I'm just saying that's the narrative he's going to be.
Uh
He's looking for.
and I'll leave this for a different episode. But you know, I feel like he's also chasing this LeBron shadow. Like LeBron did it in the East, I did it in the West.
Yep.
Now Katie's like, I did it in the West, and I'm gonna try to do it in the East.
Mm-hmm.
And to be honest, bro, I mean, it looks like it looks like it might happen. I watched today's game, bro, and like the Bucks, like Middleton was not. I think at the half, Middleton only had 8 points, and Giannis only had 6 points at the half. I'm like,
Right.
bro, you can't win games, especially playoff games
Mm-hmm.
like that. And I think they lost by like 40 or something like that today. It was ridiculous.
Yeah.
And I'm like, nah, dude. I think this might be. If they're kind, they'll give them one game. But if
Mm-hmm.
they're like ruthless and they're like, we're trying to get there and win, like you said, it might be 4-0 sweep.
Yeah. I think I will still stick with the gentleman's sweep as well. But if they get 4-0 sweep, I won't be surprised. I just feel like it's the same thing every year for the Bucks in the playoffs. It's just
Hmm.
they slow down. Giannis lives on the perimeter. I think they need to attack the paint and the lane more.
Yeah,
But also at the same time, if you're going to stick on the perimeter, you got to be able to knock those shots down on the
you
perimeter,
have
and
to.
they're not doing it. Like you said, it's Giannis, it's Middleton, it's Drew Holiday, it's all the above. So I just feel like when you get that typical year after year letdown in the playoffs, plus you're facing this super team in Brooklyn with not even no Harden, like you said, it's just. Could you imagine if Harden comes back this series? They could win by fucking 50 or 60.
And we're seeing like a rebirth of Clippers Blake
Yes.
in this Nets team. It's ridiculous, bro. It's ridiculous. Like to me, I see this. I'm like, bro, it's not fair. It's not fair.
Mm-hmm.
And like, yeah, we see Giannis. Like, is he 2-time MVP?
Mm-hmm.
You know, but he's looking like a scrub. He's looking like a Joe Schmo. He's looking like a regular Schmo playing against this Nets team.
And that's what it is. Every year in the playoffs. It's like I get it, MVP, I give it to you, but the playoffs and any sport is a different breed, bro.
Different breed, different games,
Yeah.
different atmosphere.
Mm-hmm. So
I don't know,
I,
man.
I still see possibly a sweep for Brooklyn, but I will give Milwaukee one. You know,
Yeah.
I mean, It's just playoff basketball. The Nets might be like, fuck it, we'll take a night off, you know.
Right, exactly.
These guys think they're in it, and then boom, right back to 100.
It's gonna be just like we saw last series. I thought, the Celtics will give them a little run for their money, but not even, bro.
It's just too hard to pick against these guys right now, you know.
It's too hard, bro, and like Durant just makes it look easy.
Too easy. No one can
Kyrie makes it look easy.
Kyrie's having fun, dude. They're just toying around out there.
They're toying around with these guys.
Yep. But it is what it is, though, man. I think that pretty much wraps it up for tonight's episode, though.
It does.
A lot of good content in there. Exciting, man. Dude, the sports never end, man.
Never end.
It's something that keeps us going. Hope the fans are tuning in.
Yeah, I hope so. Like, there's a lot of stuff going on. There's playoffs all week. I mean, all month. To be honest.
Yep.
What else we got? I mean, I don't know if you're keeping up, but the Euro starts on Friday.
Yes, sir.
So we'll give our predictions and what top teams to look out for in the tournament on our next episode. But what else? I mean, we'll keep a close eye on that Rodgers situation. It's only getting worse.
Yeah.
Lillard. It's only getting worse.
Still no baseball talk, but I mean, I know the season's so young, bro. There's got like fucking 2,000 games in a season. So
I want to get your take on the Giants. So we'll get to that.
Yeah,
and the A's.
And the A's too. The A's are hot right now too.
And your Dodgers. So we're gonna get to all of it.
Padres, dude. There's a lot of baseball to talk about too. So we'll definitely bring that in. Probably next episode. Just
for sure.
Keep you guys in the loop. But yeah, man. I think that's it for this week's episode. So thanks everyone for tuning in, and until next week, man.
Till next week, man. Be safe. Watch sports, man. Stay hydrated. Avoid the bookings. And I'm
gonna go get some Italian food, Joe's.
There you go, bro. Check it out, man. Get some good Italian food there. I 10 out of 10 recommend.
All right, man. Definitely. Until next week, guys. Thanks for tuning in, and we will see you guys next week.
Be safe, guys.
Peace out.
Later, brother.
Peace out.
Peace.